Welcome back. I ended my last vlog out here and it's so beautiful. I thought we need to start it again. My mom got me some new polarized sunglasses and I was so grateful, especially for running. I didn't include it last week in the vlog, but I got a really bad migraine from not wearing sunglasses. Even though I was wearing a hat and it was overcast, I think that I'm sensitive to it. So I was like, I have commission last week for 2 hours. I was really grateful, like it wrapped up after 2 hours and I was able to keep working that day. But man, oh man, I told you last week that I have been planning out a new mural painting. I actually have 3 in the works right now. This morning my mom and I went out to brunch at Schmooze in Old Town Scottsdale. It's the coolest spot because it's like a lovely patio that you can eat at. You almost feel like you're in someone's like back porch. It's really nice. And I got an email while we were sitting there that the mural is greenlit and I can start tomorrow, which is really great for my schedule. That's what I was hoping. And that means I can paint my next mural, I think, in March instead of April. And what you didn't see in the vlog is that I revised our mural concepts on Friday evening. We're definitely like turning this one around quickly. I got those off. If all works out, I will pick up some paint today. And I am going to work with their existing color scheme and paint colors. And they sent me one so far, which is a Sherwin-Williams paint, which I'm sure it's great. I know that's what my parents like love to use for their like interior and exterior, which I don't usually use. I'm sure they'll be awesome, but I'll have to go pick those up. What else was I going to tell you? I also need to coordinate delivering the golf bag that is finally painted. I realized I think I painted that over like 4 weeks of vlogs, which is really like a long-term project. I would normally be a little more swift, but it just was something that took time, as I told you. Lastly, I did have that set of 3 barrel cacti blooming paintings that I framed. They are now available in my shop, sticking to my goal of releasing originals more often. And as I'm waiting around here today for the paint info, I think I will list some more originals online as well. So I'll link that below so you can check those out and we'll see how this week goes. I have 4 paintings I'm actually custom framing for my parents. This is a project I completed in December. I live painted these scenes for a corporate group in Tucson. I was actually set up at the Tucson Art Museum. It was really cool. Since it was around the holidays, there was a 5th artwork too that's like a bit more Christmassy. So we're only framing these 4 that are more year-round, but they do all have metallic paints I incorporated, which you can't necessarily see behind the plastic here, but I painted an extra set of 4 for my parents and they wanted to frame them. So we are sending these 4 off to be framed. They're actually like a folded greeting card. So we're just gonna leave that intact in the frame. The frames are really nice. They're gold and they have a double matte with like a larger white matte and then like a thin accent of a soft green. It's actually almost this green, but like not so lime, more soft. Although I think to complement the colors best, I would probably, I think I'd probably frame them like this to balance them out, but I'm sure we can decide once they arrive. I'm unpacking the last of my art from my market. All of my fixtures and everything are in my storage unit. I had a few more goodies. I have very few wall calendars left and we're already into February, so I will link those below. I'm gonna give a couple to my friends that didn't have them yet. I also had a big assortment of 11 by 14 prints and it was fun. 8 by 10 is definitely my most popular print size, but a lot of people enjoyed the 11 by 14s. It's so funny now when I go through my prints because like every single one has a story. I remember where I made it. This painting, a lot of people ask me if it's the shape of Arizona, and that was not my intention. It was just a piece I made on paper that was quite small, so I was like limited to the space of the page, and that's what it became. So I get asked that all the time. Ooh, this is a really early piece. I actually painted this in my bedroom at my parents' house in the year I lived at home after college. This one too in pink. I have a pink version. Painted that in there. This was a choya I saw after I went on a visit to Tucson with my dad. We went to a resort there that was one of my retailers for a meeting. I could seriously tell you a story about every single painting. Okay, last story. This painting I actually made for Desert Botanical Garden. It's inspired by like the scene in the entry. You can't miss it. When you walk in, there's prickly pear everywhere. And we did like a virtual Mother's Day card one year, and this was the artwork. And then I hand lettered "You Are Wonderful" on top of it. And I ended up loving it so much that after our collaboration, I turned it into a greeting card and a art print like this. And I'm not sure if the garden sells that painting in the shop. I am not sure. I lied. Let me tell you one more story. This painting originally was 6 feet tall by 4 feet wide, maybe 3 feet wide, but it was definitely 6 feet tall. And it's in my client's house. I have since made art prints of it, so you can't even like see the whole painting usually in the art print because the way the dimensions are, the height is so tall. But I recently printed custom canvases for my parents of some of my art prints in a really large size. And I have a different color scheme of this painting that's a bit more red toned. So I'll show you that in this vlog because it came out really nice and it looks like the original. So I've been really thrilled with my printing quality. And all of my art prints are available on both paper and canvas. There's 6 sizes on paper and 3 sizes on canvas. But I often will have clients who want the canvas prints even larger, so I can do that, and that's what I did for my parents. Oh, mural was approved. We are set to start tomorrow morning. I went and picked up the paint. I've got some of my supplies in the back and some here too. And I don't necessarily know if this will be that needed for this particular mural. I think it will be though. But I was very excited because I just bought my first zebra paintbrush. They are spelled Z-I-B-R-A. And I got a cool palm one that's like an angled wider brush that will be really useful for this mural. And I was so excited about this company because I saw their story on Instagram that it's like a family-owned business and these daughters took it over from their dad and they ran it together. So I just thought it was a good story, and I think they have found kind of a new market for mural painters, and they had specific brushes that are really good for mural painting. They even on Amazon have like a 5 brush kit that is specific for muralists. And I didn't really need all of the ones that were in there for this project. So like I said, I just got the one, but I wanted this one too. And it wasn't going to arrive in time for my project, but I found it at Home Depot. It's a square brush. So do you see like the bristles are actually in a square formation? I know this will be lovely for some straight lines. So I got this and a bunch of other supplies. I have a ton of supplies already. So usually when I get mural supplies, I just need a few extra like new brush rollers or a drop cloth, things like that. But we are looking good to start tomorrow. Today was the first day of the mural painting and I was so focused I didn't vlog, which was great because I made a lot of progress, more than I expected, and it was quite busy in there. So I'll tell you, I am painting a mural inside one of the Dutch Bros warehouses. It's more of an office warehouse. It's like where they train all of their employees. It's definitely like buzzing in there. There's even like a front desk that someone's working and people in and out. So I didn't film and just focused on painting, which was cool because like I said, made a lot of progress. When you walk in, there is a front desk and they have this existing arch that is painted with Dutch blue, their like signature blue paint. If you're familiar with the Dutch Bros coffee brand, their brand colors are a red, blue, and yellow, but they have a secondary color palette that is a little more warm, kind of like a 70s vibe. of like orangey red, like a darker blue. So when you enter, the arch and the desk are already painted this blue. So I went to Sherwin-Williams, as you saw, and that's the blue that I color matched. And then I just color matched the best I could with the other colors on the front wall and the side wall. I'm doing like a groovy stripe, which is really fun. I am normally painting landscapes that are like more organic and very detailed, and to do something more geometric was fun. And it took a lot of planning and measuring in the first part of the day, but then once that was all done, I was able to crank on the painting. I like those kind of projects where I get to sit with my computer and really like measure and plan. So that was fun. And then they have like individual offices all throughout the warehouse with like big glass whiteboards that are mounted to the wall. There are 10 of them that I will be painting just like solid color block frames around, kind of like wavy frames in those 3 colors. And it's really fun because if you're familiar with the brand, they do all kinds of cool posters and sticker designs. And when you're in those office spaces, they'll have like 5 posters framed that are really cute. So the whole space will feel very inviting. They've already done a great job. So yeah, I worked on it like 9 to 5 today because those are their office hours. And then I'll probably start a little earlier tomorrow and paint until 5, and we'll see how far we get. Forgive this like terrible angle, but I have this fun jumpsuit that my mom gave me. I think it's from J. Crew, and it has like a cinched waist and like fun detail on the sleeves. I usually go like this to give it a bit more of an open neck because otherwise it's like a little bit, and she's gotten a lot of use. My paintbrushes need to be cleaned. I cleaned them pretty well, but I just want to get some of that extra like paint out of the core. Oh, and I had to report on the zebra paintbrushes. I'm obsessed with one of these. This one really reminds me of like other angle brushes I used. It's a totally great brush. There's nothing wrong with it, but this one, the square one that I was really excited about, it's a dream to paint with. Like, I want to use this for all of my projects. I will be getting more of them, like even to do paintings in my studio, not just murals. This is the brush. Today is Bogey's gotcha day, which means 1 year ago, 1 year ago we adopted you. I already gave him a bunch of kisses, so he might not want more. He was liking them a minute ago, but now he's on the move. 1 year ago today we adopted you. Do you remember? You were such a baby. Little baby. Yeah, he's on the move now. Oh, taking his, oh boy, all excited, taking his pillow to play with. He usually lays on that. We had the nicest morning. Bogey has never really like stayed in bed in the morning. I think it's something that's just gonna come with age. In 2 days, he'll be 14 months, and like he definitely likes to lay in bed more and cuddle, but you know, like a lot of people say their dog like stays in bed, they can't get their dog out of bed, or they like eat their breakfast and go back to sleep. That is not him. Like maybe 3 or 4 times he's ever done that, and he will not like go back into our bed without us, which is funny. He really wants to be by us all the time, but today he was, yeah. Oh, hold on. Says, Mommy, who are you talking to? Oh boy. Yeah, today he just wanted to really cuddle. He like sprawled out in the bed. He kept like getting all cozy, and it was fun for Jake and I because we kind of could just like talk about how today was like so special and the 1 year anniversary of us having him. Of course, his first birthday was important to us too, but we were really looking forward to this day because it's been 1 year now that we've had him, which is wild. Having a puppy was really hard. Like this time last year, I was going through it. It didn't really help that we adopted him, and then I had to travel for work 3 days later, and then I had to travel for work again like a few weeks after that. And you know, puppies like need to go outside like every half hour. So it was a lot for Jake back and forth with work, but we made it to a year and now he's so grown up and fun. We've got a new week compared to last week. Last week really mixed things up because a lot of my vlogs happen right here in this space. I was basically on site almost all of last week between my market at DBG and then my mural painting for Dutch Bros. I actually wrapped it up on Saturday, so I had to do a few extra hours on the weekend, which worked out well. They were doing a training this weekend. I have to say, I really didn't do a very good job of vlogging the project. I was focused, first of all, but they were really working and using the space a lot, especially on Saturday. They moved their training into like the front lobby area where I was painting, and I like just couldn't disturb them with talking, you know? But I tried to share as much as I could. The project turned out great. It turned out really fun. The line work was really like a dynamic shape all over the walls. The first iteration was like all more straight line work, like basically straight lines, either vertical or horizontal, that like turned a corner. So when we added the more groovy, fun line work, my second iteration was more funky, and I was really glad because it was more fun to paint the funky ones too. So we had a nice mix of both. I started the new day and the new week by cleaning off my painting table here, and I've only done computer work mostly today, and I like don't even like sharing this on camera because it doesn't really look that great, but my computer died, so I was over there. I was much more comfy over here. I had to get the week going. I really did quite a lot in the past few hours, like approved the new patches I've been designing, sent like mugs to print for my clients, sent invoices, followed up on projects, sent quotes, etc., etc. I decided to get this piece custom framed. I believe you saw me paint this. I definitely filmed it. I'll include it here if I haven't before, but since it's such a particular panoramic size, I had trouble finding a frame I enjoyed that was just like readily available online. I did buy one, and it was another frame fail where I thought it was real wood and it was an adhesive sticker wrapped around the frame that looked like wood, which just looks, from far away, fine, it passes, but it just looks cheapy, you know? I got a coupon in the mail. It's on the other side here, but it has my address for custom framing sale they're having at Jerry's. So we're gonna stop there today. We're actually gonna go hiking and then we're gonna go there. And I also need some more art tape, and I'm gonna try to find a frame I like that's just an 11 by 17 standard for a poster we got at the Casey Musgraves concert. But we'll see. I did see one online already that I liked, but if they have one at Jerry's I can get locally, that would be better. It's a few days later. I have gotten a little bit behind on vlogging. I think I missed, well, did I only miss 1 week? I think I technically only missed 1 week, you guys. That's pretty good. Really working to stay active on YouTube, and I ended up combining like basically 2 weeks of footage into one because I had my really big mural week, and then this past week I really worked on like a lot of my retail orders, quite a bit of admin, like planning out other projects. But what I also did was finish my latest commission painting, and you are the first to see it because I literally finished it today, and I'm gonna upload this vlog same day. This is a floral watercolor. I had mentioned I was commissioned by an interior design duo out of Phoenix. I made this painting that kind of marries native plants and florals from where the two people in the couple are from. So the designers are going to mat this and frame it, and it's going to hang above their mantle. It's a 16 by 20 inch painting, but I left an inch of width around all the sides, because the frame especially always has an overhang that like covers the painting. So you're not actually seeing like 16 by 20 inches of painting, you're seeing like 15 and a half by 19 and a half, you know? And the mat does the same thing, which is really frustrating. But for them, taking it into custom frame, they will have some freedom there. So they'll have a little bit of breathing room, and I'm hoping that will really help their framing process and let the art shine. They really wanted this to look like foraged and gathered and kind of like coming out of the page. That was really special, and I want to show you. When I create a commission, I will create sketch paintings or like sketch concepts for my client to see, and they're usually quite loose. I'm trying to really nail like the composition and the color palette, but for this one, I really like had to kind of work through it with other sketches just for my own process to like get familiar with painting these flowers. Like there were many flowers I hadn't painted before, and kind of like I did like a painting that was to scale, nearly to scale. I shared this with the designer and was like, does this capture what you had in mind? And I told her, essentially the larger piece will look like this color and composition wise, but it will have just even more detail. And it was cool because you can see, like, for example, these dark purple blooms, there was only room for 2, but then on the final painting, there was room for 3 of them in here. It's kind of fun now that I have these additional pieces. I also have this one, but it doesn't look super in line with these other 2. I was a little more free with the color palette. I went a little more vibrant than I wanted to, and I ended up like overlaying my own accents of pastel on top. So these are just pieces for my own use and collection now. I think it's cool. We kind of have like the mom and the baby in a sense. And I did use this as a reference while I was painting. So that's what I've been working on this week. And we're caught up now because I'm uploading this same day. And I'm actually going to a YouTube event this week again. I just went to the Galentine's one in Nashville, so it'll be fun to do another one. I think this is like for all creators, not just like female identifying creators. So it should be cool. I've got some other great projects coming up. It's always going, you know. I'm doing a live painting actually. That one is actually, I realized, open to the public. You just have to RSVP, but I am live painting at Kendra Scott on their glass perfume bottles and candles. So if you purchase one and want me to paint it, I will be there to do so. So I will also link that below. If you happen to see this before then, I'd love to see you there. And I want to thank you for joining me in all of my creative adventures lately and celebrating Bogey's big milestone this week. He's right here next to me. And until my next video, I'm sending all my positive and creative vibes your way, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.